Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, likes, comments, and subscribes are appreciated as they do help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says bull or bear market. Bitcoin losses from panic selling mount in 2022. We are currently at the point where if you remember, we were looking at the fear and greed index of Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks. We are still in fear or extreme fear, where a lot of people simply do not know or how do I even say it? There's no clear indication as to where the cryptocurrency market is going to go right now, and therefore a lot of people appear to be panic selling as they aren't greeted as quickly by a number of other YouTubers saying that the market is going to be pumping. I did it. Good job. So what we normally see is that, and this is normally the joke that I make, but it's actually quite true. If prices are going down by 2, 3, 4%, a lot of the news tends to be like, is this it? Are we going to the bottom? Is Bitcoin going to $20,000? If Bitcoin's price is going up by 3, 4, 5% over the course of a 4 or 5 day period, we get tons of news as to that we're in a bear market, extended bear market. Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million. You may have noticed how when we were moving up the last 4 or 5 days, a lot of the news that we got on the side was that Bitcoin's definitely going to $1 million Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to $1 million by the year 2026 and continuing on and on and on. As there clearly is at the moment no actual method to the madness of Bitcoin's price. What we've always seen before, and this continuously happens over and over, is that the people who got to the party late, meaning the most recent people who have entered the cryptocurrency space, having entered by the idea of quick, fast, easy money, they are now leaving the cryptocurrency market, which is what tends to usually happen all the time. As volatility plays a gigantic role, a lot of people get into the market not understanding what volatility is. They simply have heard that over the course of a year, one of their friends made $25,000, $35,000, $125,000, and they think that it happens instantaneously, and this is why they get into the market. But when it doesn't happen immediately to them, after about a good 1 month, 2, 3 month period, they end up leaving the market, which is then usually followed by us receiving news that gigantic whales in the market scooped up all of those coins. It says Bitcoin and Ethereum tried to recover. Engine and Sand rally. Yeah, there's some Sand news. You'll kind of get that in a little bit. Yeah, it's apparent that a lot of people in the market, of course, want the market to move back up. But as of right now, for some reason, regardless of any good news that we might have gotten over the last months, it seems to have no exact or profound effect on the price of the wider cryptocurrency market. Also still in the news is the indecisive news that we received from the Federal Reserve just a couple of days ago that they may, in fact, be preparing to raise interest rates by 0.25% and or repo buying, etc., etc., etc. Basically everything that they've been doing over the last 2 years, kind of slowing it down. Apparently, allegedly, that might still be having some type of an effect on Bitcoin's price. There was a lot of news. I mean, the price news today is kind of all clustered together with the actual real news, if you kind of want to put it that way. For some reason, over the last couple of days, there's been a lot of news that the Federal Reserve, the people who are printing money within the United States, are allegedly at some point soon planning on creating their own central bank digital currency, that they're going to be unveiling it and or revealing it and or telling people exactly what it's going to be, tying loosely into the news that we got a couple of days ago where apparently this isn't going to happen at all or not for a very long time. We had news from Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase over the last couple of months as well, and a couple of other banks who announced to us that apparently, allegedly, none of us know, that apparently there won't be a central bank digital currency within the United States until at least the year 2030 or 2025, when it could be announced that they are preparing and or have created it but are looking for ways to kind of roll it out to the public. However, the other websites that are talking about this are kind of announcing that it's kind of a done deal. It is already made, and I think this is also potentially a reason why this could be spooking a number of people within the cryptocurrency space, because a lot of people don't understand how money is made, what money actually is, or what a digital version of the US dollar is going to be like. This is why we've heard before, whenever we've had news, sorry if I'm talking too fast, whenever we've had news before that any entity was going to be creating a digital currency similar to Facebook coin, people usually ask, how do I invest in it? Because they assume that it is going to be similar to Bitcoin, in that it is going to have a fluctuating value, and or if they acquire it early enough, it is going to actually move up in value against the US dollar, not understanding that they're simply buying a digitized version that is tethered to the actual US dollar. So that's point one as to why I think prices simply aren't moving continually, or why they are kind of stagnant at the moment because of this news floating around, with people still not understanding exactly what inflation is. If you have never, talk to some of your friends and ask them if they understand what inflation is, and you're going to be horrified, because a good 8 out of 10 people have no idea what it is. They know that it makes things more expensive, but they don't understand why, who controls it, or where it's actually coming from. So have that conversation with your friends this weekend, or probably today. The other portion of and this is loosely into the price news, but over the past 4 years, it's played very closely into the Bitcoin price news. The SEC has once again, as they have done since 2014, 2015, rejected another spot Bitcoin ETF. That is an ETF that is going to be tied directly to the actual currency unit thing that it is going to be based off of. And many other companies within the cryptocurrency space and slightly outside of the cryptocurrency space have been trying for the last 6-7 years to actually launch a Bitcoin ETF within the United States that would allow that fund to hold Bitcoin physically, actually buying up the actual Bitcoin. We've seen before in the past, and I'm sure a lot of you are rolling your eyes as I say this, we've seen before in the past that for some reason, every single time, regardless of logic not hitting people and them realizing that the SEC no time soon is going to be allowing a Bitcoin ETF of any sort to actually pass within the United States, every time that one gets pushed forward or proposed, Bitcoin's price will actually rise by 2 to 3% on that day. Whether it is exactly that event that is causing Bitcoin's price to rise by 2.3%, no one actually knows, but it happens every single time that a proposal is put forth. However, at the same exact end of that proposal, when it does get rejected, Bitcoin's price also tends to fall down as well. At this point, it seems like deliberate price manipulation. This is my opinion. Now, you would actually put forth a proposal for a Bitcoin ETF that you know is going to get rejected. And when the rejection actually does take place, Bitcoin's price ends up dipping, which then only makes it easier for other institutions and companies and banks within the space to actually accumulate Bitcoin at a lower price. You know that is, if I know, I am a crypto YouTuber. If I figured out the pattern, if I figured out that none of these Bitcoin ETFs are going to be pushed through anytime soon, at least for the next 2 or 3 years, I'm pretty sure that these gigantic companies who have about 26 different lawyers instructing them, yay, go put this forth, they know that it's going to be rejected and that Bitcoin's price is actually going to fall down, but that's neither here nor there. So this was unpopularly popular news where a lot of people are like, I don't understand why the SEC is doing it. They know how to manipulate the market, and they're simply doing it because they know that they have the power to be able to do so. Why are we still so fixated on the idea of a Bitcoin ETF? Not really sure. I guess it's the same exact reason why people are fixated on the entire Robinhood thing, but alas, that is just simply what the cryptocurrency market currently is. On top of that, Fidelity, immediately after they were rejected, how weird, right? Almost like they knew, announced that they're going to be trying to launch ETFs that are tied directly to the Metaverse after their rejection from the SEC. The really weird part is that so many companies are trying to launch these things right now. I think the new trend is, if I can't get a direct spot Bitcoin ETF, I'm going to try for what's the other one? It's the Metaverse ETFs or the Bitcoin futures ETF, which is also seeing waning interest because nobody actually wants Bitcoin futures in the first place, because people once again realize or think that they are getting some type of actual exposure to Bitcoin when it's indirect exposure. And no one who's an actual investor actually wants that, unless they're trying to actively manipulate the market in some sort of way by dealing in the futures to make sure that by the end of the week that they're in the negative. So the other big thing right now is that a lot of big companies are trying to launch an ETF that is based off of companies that are attached to the metaverse, which is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in a very long time. I'm not sure if it's a desperate attempt to try and make sure that they look like that they're deeper into the cryptocurrency space than they actually are. But at the moment, there are maybe 2-3 companies who are actually big in the metaverse. These 2 that I'm thinking of don't have any actual stock. They simply have cryptocurrency tokens. So this would be a very weird thing for someone else to have to acquire those cryptocurrency tokens for that metaverse, and then it is indirectly exposed through the actual ETF, as opposed to telling people, hey, just actually buy the actual digital currency that is going to go up for said ETF. And as of right now, we still have no news as to when Facebook/Meta's Metaverse is going to be launching as well. And then also the last point as to price news for the day. This is floating around, everywhere, all over the place. It says Joe Biden's White House is expected to issue an executive order in coming weeks about actions in the U.S. government that the U.S. government will take regarding digital assets. A source familiar with the White House's plan told Barron's that the executive order will be issued in a national security memorandum. Biden's memorandum would assign some government entities to study crypto, stablecoins, and NFTs with the goal of developing a workable regulatory framework. The news floating around today is, for some reason, people are in a very panicked that apparently, allegedly, no one knowsily, that the White House in the near future is apparently going to put forth something that looks like some type of a cryptocurrency regulation. Why people are terrified about this, I'm not exactly sure. We all knew that it was coming. Did you think that at no point the U.S. government was not going to regulate something that could potentially, that they would be able to tax even more, that could get them billions of dollars every single year? If you thought that, please leave this channel right now. I'm not sure exactly what to tell you or why a lot of people are thinking that this was never going to happen. We had news that there were going to be cryptocurrency regulations since 2016. Nonetheless, in 2017, when prices actually began to rapidly move up, why we simply did not get cryptocurrency regulations in 2017, I'm not exactly sure. What's going to happen is these are going to be put forth, prices are going to fall, people are going to panic, because for some reason, people simply don't live in an actual world of reality. But I hope you are, walking through that door at some point in your very near future. Prices will begin to recover as people are actually reading through the documents and seeing that it's not that bad. Maybe taxes will go up in a certain area, or cryptocurrency mining is actually going to be taxed. There's going to be some type of heavy regulation on top of stablecoins, because stablecoins look too close to the US dollar, and the US dollar is allegedly, US government is apparently trying to create their own central bank digital currency. And those are going to be the regulations. There will be no ban, but there will be articles floating around telling you that there's going to be a ban, which is going to get you and your friends scared, and some of you are going to sell off your cryptocurrencies. Prices are going to drop. Whales are going to accumulate. We're going to figure out exactly what's inside of this government law plan. It's going to end up being passed, I assume, sometime in mid-2023. Governments do not work that fast. They are not preparing anything that is going to be launched sometime this year. And by the end of this year, there still will not be any regulation. By the time that this actually ends up getting passed, a lot of people will have forgotten about it. Prices will have continued to move back up. Whales will have bought your cryptocurrency that they scared you into selling. And 3 weeks after this ends up getting passed, it will no longer be in the news. And it will simply be a thing that no longer people pay attention to. That's exactly how it's going to happen, I promise you. Because it's the same exact thing every single time. There's also, I don't have it in this video, and I'm not going to include it in any future videos either, because I knew that it was going to take place. Remember the 2 mega countries who announced 4 days ago that they were planning on banning cryptocurrencies, and I was like, they're not going to ban it. And they were like, no, we're going to ban it. We've been talking about banning it since 2016 because it's bad, it's evil, and only illicit actors are using it. And I was like, if they really planned on banning it, they were going to ban it already, because that's how governments work. I'm not sure if any of you live in a country that has a government. Oh, you do? That's crazy, right? Well, you know that if a government wants to ban something, they ban it immediately. There's no actual discussion about it. So the two major countries who are also slightly blamed for the reason why the cryptocurrency market dipped a couple of days ago because of this fear of them banning cryptocurrencies, which they were not going to do, are now in the news. One of them talking about that they're looking deeply into the metaverse and actually the benefits of cryptocurrencies, and the second one talking about how they could benefit from cryptocurrency mining and therefore it should not be banned at all. Weird, right? Keeps happening over and over and over. But for some reason, I'm not sure what it is. People within the cryptocurrency space, this news terrifies them. I don't agree with the term weak hands, paper hand, or diamond hands, but if they're not starting to make so much more sense to me over the last couple of years, I mean, anyway, so apparently someone who works inside the White House, we don't know who, has apparently said information that there's going to be cryptocurrency rules and regulations in which we all knew were going to happen. So I assume that this news is making the rounds and therefore is also going to terrify people as well. All of that was not only the news, but also the price news for today, as they were very closely linked together. I assume that the major reason for Bitcoin trending sideways and or slightly going down has more so to do with the US SEC's rejection of the BTC ETF, which is also complete nonsense. At this point, after 6 years, I'm going to simply assume that any company from this moment right now, any company that puts forth a proposal for a Bitcoin ETF with the US SEC is trying to manipulate the market. They know that it's not going to get passed. Their idea probably is, let's put this proposal forth. They're going to reject it. And when they do, Bitcoin's price is going to tumble by 4 or 5%. This is another reason when we'll be able to actually get into the market, because it's, once again, if I and you know that none of these are going to be pushed forth, it's price manipulation. Anyway, that's all the price news for today. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, in really popular news, apparently a Brussels member of parliament, his name is Christophe de Boycalier, became the first European Parliament politician to convert his salary into Bitcoin. The Brussels member of parliament's monthly salary of 5,500 euros, which is like 6,400 US dollars, will be converted to Bitcoin using Bit4U crypto trading platform. It's kind of weird. Whenever a politician or a sports star converts their salary into Bitcoin, it's always from some platform that I've never heard of. Bit4U. This was reported by Bruz. Okay. The politician who represents the Humanist Democratic Center Party, or CDH Party, hopes his moves will inspire other politicians in the region to show a similar interest in the technology. He cited the example of the New York City mayor and how American politicians are working to make their native state or city a Bitcoin hub. No, backing that up a little tiny bit, I think what a lot of this has to do with, I mean, of course, it's simply money, which is 95% of it. I think the other part is just simply enriching the people who are already in the market. This is a heavy assumption, but stay with me because it's going to be like oranges grow from an orange tree. A lot of times when these politicians and these rich people get into the cryptocurrency market, I think that a lot of people simply believe it's like oh my gosh, wait, I heard about Bitcoin 9.5 years ago. I have to go buy some right now. It's usually probably something in the background where they already invested in Bitcoin, have made tons of money of it. Now they're saying, hey, I want to now get paid in Bitcoin. Or rich people tend to have other rich friends. And therefore, these rich friends end up telling them, hey, I made tons of money in the cryptocurrency space. You should also look into getting some type of Bitcoin as well. They look into getting paid in Bitcoin because that's usually how the logic actually goes. I don't know this man, and I probably never will. The New York City mayor and the Miami mayor and the other mayors around the United States and many other places around the world who have decided to get their currency in Bitcoin, I don't think they're doing it to make their city an actual Bitcoin hub or a Bitcoin center for people to go to. Because if that was the case, I don't know if he has these powers. Wouldn't the New York City mayor strike down the Bit license or try to make it easier for New York City residents to actually, have proper access to crypto. You know how every single time that something launches in the cryptocurrency space and it's never available in New York City till about like 9 months later? Why isn't that being proposed? Because once again, I assume that the actual bottom line is just simply to make more money. Once again, I don't know this man, but I'm just, connecting the puzzle. Have you ever seen those puzzles where it's not like 100-piece puzzle? It's like 4 pieces. It's just like the edges and like, oh my gosh, how do I solve this puzzle? But it's just 4 edges and you put them all together and there's the actual picture right there. So this was quite popular because anytime that we get any type of news that anyone in any type of political situation is going to be accepting, using, paying in, buying, investing in the cryptocurrency space, it ends up making very popular news. Not really much more to say here. I assume that a lot of other people relatively soon within the EU Parliament, EU something, member of Parliament, something European is going to start accepting their currency and cryptocurrency as well. I think the really big kicker will be, I think this march forward, as I'm calling it, will not have a lot of support early on as far as, hey, me, I want to get paid in Bitcoin. Me over here, I want to do the exact same thing. I think what will really catch on is if over this year, maybe next year, Bitcoin doubles, triples, or quadruples in price. It'll allow the other members of Parliament who did not get into the space early enough to go, hey, I also have to get into the space as well, and that's when it'll properly pick up. Anyway, that's the sure. Why not? News, and yeah, let's move on. Next up, also in heavily in the cryptocurrency market news for today. Apparently, the people of Apple, the higher up CEO, CFO, COO, were having a discussion with other stockholders, and they basically announced that they're looking very closely at the Metaverse. We've gone over that news ourselves a couple of weeks ago, where it was rumored about 18 times that apparently sometime this year, allegedly, Apple is going to be releasing their eyewear, VR glasses, something like that. You tap it and you're in the, Ready Player One kind of world. But apparently they've now openly said that they're looking at the metaverse. They're looking deeper into the metaverse. They have had great plans for the metaverse and their stock went up by 8%. Why this was in the cryptocurrency news, I'm not exactly sure. But alas, here we are. It was all over the place. Nothing too exciting here. It's just Apple doing Apple things. If the metaverse is expected to take off, and many other companies are betting billions of dollars on this, I did not expect Apple to be one of the major players who simply did not or does not believe in the space, and therefore they're not investing in it as well. Anyway, for some reason this was super popular in the cryptocurrency space news, even though Apple has literally almost nothing to do with Bitcoin and or cryptocurrencies. And the metaverse is like loosely in the cryptocurrency space. Yeah. Let's move on. And to finish things off, this was probably one of the most popular news stories of the day as well. Warner Music Group is planning a future of virtual concerts within the metaverse, announcing today that it has partnered with the upcoming Ethereum game known as the SandBox to open a music-themed area within the game. The major record label will use its virtual land plots in the game to create a space that serves as both a music-centric amusement park and a venue for concerts from its artists. It's the first such label to secure a location in a metaverse game. Warner did not disclose which artists will perform or appear within the SandBox, but there's a list of artists right here. We can kind of assume that they're probably going to have a digital concert at some point. SandBox and Decentraland continue to make the news, as every other day, usually about some type of a new venture or someone who has acquired something that they have and or bought land inside of their particular metaverse of some sort. So, sure, I think it's quite interesting news. I don't know if at any point in the very near future I'm going to be attending any type of digital concerts, but this is apparently a thing now. There have been many DJs who have actually thrown digital concerts, and you see their like weird looking digital avatar like dancing kind of like this because the arm can't move that properly. And apparently people have been going there. They've been, can you sell out of a digital concert? I'm not exactly sure. I would assume that you simply be able to expand the parameters of it as it is digital and therefore allow as many people inside as they kind of want. So that's the SandBox news. Also kind of popular. Yeah. I don't know if I told you at the beginning of this video that it was going to be a weird news day, but it was a weird news day. Yeah. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, How's Life Austin, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on, Chris Hakeem Wilkins, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, FUDWISER, okay, I got that right, Stake It With Valor, FUDWISER, Mortified, Roman Geba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump, Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lake, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos Was Like, Mobarazi, Jojo, Shawshaw, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grole. Why can I not read today? Miguel Grole, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan Don't Skip, Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik, Banana, Auspicious, Agile, and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Gray, Sigmo, Hamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night, Owl, 242 to the World Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Damien, Setsuna, Rich Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Man, Gialavodi, Jim Garner, Jimmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, His Chest Every Day, and Kauskis Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monks Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, and Macho Nisa on Crypto with Lionel, Crail, Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like, has commented, has subscribed, or is a clicker of affiliate links. At the moment, Bitcoin's price is currently at 36,608. It is up by 0.12%. You see a lot of the movements as the news that I was just telling you about has come out. We had a really weird fake out movement where a lot of the articles were talking about this is it, Bitcoin's going to $40,000, but then the other news began to unravel, and this is where we currently are right now. Binance Coin is currently almost up by 4%. There was no Binance Coin news. I assume it's something behind the scenes, maybe something to do with an upcoming coin burn or something else happening with the actual Binance Smart Chain coin side chains, things that are always going on. Luna is currently down by 13%. I think that is one of the heaviest hits of the day. Anything else significant? Matic is up by 1.3%. Chainlink is up by 0.4%. Algorand is up by 3.5%. OKB is up by 1.4%. FTT token is up by 4.8% as well. Yeah, same exact movements over and over and over as the market tends to normally follow exactly where Bitcoin is going. The SandBox is up by 1.8%. And Elron eGold is up by 2.3% as well. And the manipulation on BitTorrent token is really intense right now. If you look, they only have a 24-hour volume of only $39 million. These movements are absolutely insane. I think even when I looked at it before, it was up by 12%. And then like an hour or two later, it was also down by the exact same amount. Whoever's moving this market, they're making tons of money right now. For those of you who don't know how that manipulation actually works, especially if there's a movement up by 12% and a movement down by 12% over the course of a rough 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hour period. All you need is a 5 to 6% swing for the actual market for you to make tons of money, especially $39 million. That means that someone with roughly around $5, $10, $15 million can move the entire market by themselves. If you have $15 million into the market over a 6%, 660, you're making nearly $1 million on every single swing. So that's quite special. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.